of becoming a successful baker. She's not quite there yet, but she works hard. My daughter spends most of her time on her vlog. I can't see the fans she's always talking to, but it makes her happy and she gets good grades. My son wants to become a DJ and play music around the world. His sister teases him a lot, but I know she believes in him. They love the good life, and I don't want anything to take that away from them, not even when I'm no longer around. So when my friend Musa told me about the Leadway Lifestyle Protection Plan, I signed up immediately. LLPP is a life insurance plan that helps me create wealth for my family, even if life happens. So I am rest assured that no matter what happens to me, my family will be okay and they can still achieve all their dreams. Love no be for mouth o. Act on your love and protect the future of the ones you love with the Leadway Lifestyle Protection Plan.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to your favorite LinkedIn webinar series powered by Leadway, that best friend that will always keep you in the loop of everything exciting, and impactful. How are we doing today? I guess your day is going well. Wow, that is good. Fantastic. I can see we are all doing well. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. Hey, welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. As you know, our topic for today is on wills and life insurance. We're going to be having a lot of, information, tips to glean from and enjoy, and as well make use of in future. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Now, I'm going to be introducing our guests for today. We have Bolawon Oluyemi. Bolawon Oluyemi is a trust officer at Leadway Capital and Trust with over a decade of experience in trusteeship and administration. And we have Grace Uduka. Grace Uduka is also an astute relationship manager at Leadway Assurance with proven record of account management, account growth. Grace is that one person that is passionate about creating happy experiences for clients. Welcome, our guest. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for giving us that
Thank you,
time.
Aisha.
Easy. It's going to be fantastic. I am sure we're going to learn a lot, especially from Gola on Wheels. I can't wait to listen to everything Wheels today. And Grace, I know you make me do that life insurance because that's one of the things you're passionate about. You're welcome to this webinar series. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. So let's just go straight to the topic because we had to move timing from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock to give us time to discuss this extensively. People talk about will as a legal document, and they say a whole lot about it. But in its simplest form, we know a will is a legal document that makes sure that your assets, surviving spouse and kids are safe and well cared for when you are no more. That when you are no more is one thing we don't want to be talking about, is one thing we don't want to, generally because of faith and some other things. Let me just throw a quick question internally. Does age appear to apply, really, sorry, apply to having one? I want you to respond to that, people. Does age apply to having one, having wills and all that? Does it apply? Okay, it's coming in. Chats are coming in. I want us to start from there first. Does it apply? Does it really apply? No, 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 not at all. Everyone over the age of 18 should have one. It's very important. It is very key. You should have one. And on the other hand, we're talking about life insurance today, and life insurance is basically that policy with a contract between a policy which holds a contract between a policy holder, which usually we refer to as the insured, and as well as our insurance company or his insurance company, which is the insurer, that stipulates that an agreed value that you have both agreed on, is paid in exchange for a premium upon death or after a set period of time. So I won't really go into this because we have the experts in house to talk about this. And so, talking this afternoon, I would like to start with the wills part of things. Bola, uh, can you hear me?
I can hear you up too.
Fantastic. Okay, that's great. So I'll start by asking, what is a will and why should we get one?
All right, thank you very much for that question. As simple as it is, a will is a document by which an individual expresses directions as to how his or her assets should be managed when he or she is no longer there. And of course, a will is one of the documents that have been used for estate planning. And it is very important for every adult to embrace will writing.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. That estate planning part of it is what I am hearing for the first time. Uh, as a layman, I'm part of the group, so I know more about this. But let me start acting like a layman so that my people on here would understand that you have a lot to learn, especially when it comes to all of these things. So that takes me to my second question. This goes to the fact that we people talk about a lot of things, and I think it is time for us to just bust those myths. There are myths around these that people will talk about and all of that. So I think the first step for us is for us to just bust this first and make everybody understand that, see, this is this is not what you can't have. This is general, this is important, and all of that. So the first one I would like you to touch on is on age issue. For instance, you be like, oh, making a will is morbid. I don't need one because I still have a lot of years ahead of me. I am not mega rich. I don't have any serious assets. What do you say to that, Bolan?
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. It's unfortunate that in our society, people tend to ascribe will writing to age. Of course, you do not need to attain a certain age to be able to write your will. All you require is to be an adult. And then, of course, like I used to tell people, there are indicators that you need to look out for you to take out a will. Once you begin to have the simple assets like your RSA account, like your bank account, those are assets that you need to put in your will. Once you have beneficiaries, you have a spouse, you have children, I think it builds on you as a responsible adult to take out a will. So it definitely has nothing to do with your age. You don't have to be as old as a Methuselah before you decide to write your will. So once you begin to see those indicators, once you've observed that, oh, I have a spouse, I have children, or I have a retirement savings account, or I have funds in my bank account, I think those are indicators that you should write a will irrespective of your age.
Wow, loads of information in there. Grace. Yeah, Grace. Hello, Grace. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Hello, Grace. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Aisha.
Oh, fantastic, Grace. That the last question that I asked Bola, I think it also applies
Okay.
to life insurance for people. People still do think that they
Mm-hmm.
don't need, because we're still young, really. Why do I
Mm-hmm.
have to do that? So what do you say to that?
Okay. Life insurance, basically, as we know, ensures that you should have a secure financial plan for your family, your dependents, your loved ones in general. So once you're an adult and you're working or you're doing something for yourself, that's an indicator for you to take up life insurance, which means you have dependents, you have loved ones, you all have families. You don't necessarily have to be someone who say, I'm single, I'm not married, I don't have a wife, I don't have a child, I don't have children. So why do I need life insurance? Well, you have parents, you have siblings,
Hmm.
and then you love them as well, and you intend to, if possible, give them a better future. So once you're an adult and you have something doing, whether you're working for yourself or you have an employed job, it's a good time to start a life insurance, because it's just to secure, basically it's just to secure the future of your family and loved ones at large when you're
Wow,
not
that
there.
is
And as you pass on, of course, you're not there to
so.
know what happens
Whoever
afterwards.
you're doing life with presently, you need to secure them. Whoever you are doing life with presently, so it doesn't have to be your wife, it doesn't have to be your kids, even your family, your siblings, your
Definitely,
dependents. Whoever, anybody you are currently doing life with right now, you can also do it because of them. That is great. That's fantastic.
definitely.
Bola, are you there? I'm going back to the myths that we're busting, because I called in Grace because I know that the age thing applies. So we'll bust a myth now. Are you there? The myth? Let's bust it. Bola.
Yes, please.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. So another one that people do talk about is making of will is expensive. What do you say to that?
all right, that's not true. That's one of the excuses and the myths that go around in our societies. I am very certain that will writing is not as expensive as people think. For instance, in Leadway Capital and Trust, you can take up a will, you can have your will rating for as low as 10,000 naira. So I don't think you can buy a good mobile phone with 10,000 naira. So it's not so expensive as people think. And aside that, we also have a wide range of offerings that allow people to embrace flexibility in paying for this product. So, like I said, I'm not sure you can get a mobile phone for that cheap. So, will writing is definitely not expensive. It's not something expensive. It's something every individual, every adult can afford.
A lot of things to glean from. Yeah. Yeah. Hope we are using that right now. Hope you are jotting down. We're taking notes from the pros in house. So that takes me to my next question. Making of will is daring God. We are faith people. We believe so much in God. We go to churches, we go to mosques. A lot of people would come and say, oh, I don't want to start daring God, I don't want to tempt God, I don't want to test God. This exists, and it's one of the things that mitigate against us taking up these things that we know we need. What you say, Bola?
All right, thank you very much. That's the fact that you're writing a will doesn't mean that you're actually daring God, and this is because even the two major religions in Nigeria actually endorses the concept of will writing, estate planning, and moving inheritance from one generation to the other. I can tell you for free that if you check into the Bible, you will see provisions that says that he who moves on without leaving means of provision behind for his loved ones is worse than an infidel. Equally, in the Holy Quran, you will find provisions as to how assets should be distributed amongst Muslims and how two-thirds of the assets should be distributed. It also calls for the need for Muslims to embrace the need to take out an Islamic will that will ensure that their
Yeah,
assets are
yeah,
distributed in line with the dictates of Sharia. So definitely the two major religions in the country actually endorses will writing. So it's definitely not true that if you're writing a will, you're daring God.
So people, well, now we know. Your faith won't stop you from having it. Your faith won't stop you from doing what you're supposed to do for your loved ones. In fact, it supports that part of life because it is important. It breeds peace. And the my second to the last one is I am married. I don't need a will. So ordinarily, because I'm married, my possession, everything that I own will go to my wife. So why do I need to do it? Or everything that I own, my assets will go to my husband. Why do I need one? Well,
All right. All right. Thank you very much. As easy as it sounds, it doesn't work that way. The fact that you're married doesn't mean that automatically all that you own will go to your spouse. From my experience, there are a lot of challenges that go on to the assets of diseased individuals. And so there's a need for people to actually do a will and plan the future, determine who is going to get what when you are not there. If you permit me to tell you a story, I used to have a family friend who lost her husband, and then she was out of the country when this happened. And at the time she got back into the country, the siblings of her late husband had already distributed everything that was left behind. And all that was left
wow,
for her was a matrimonial home, which she was
wow,
eventually kicked out of in less than three
the
months.
house.
And I can tell you for free that they have a child together who is about 9 years old at the moment. And
Wow.
that child brought up with the labor and the sweat of the mother only. Not a single penny of the inheritance left behind by the father was applied towards the upbringing of that child. So this is why every individual should be responsible enough to plan the future, take out a will, identify all the assets that you own, and give specific instructions as to how these assets should be distributed.
So if you really love them to death, plan for
Definitely.
them, take
And
care of
protect
them,
them.
and ensure that they are secure, they're well taken care of, they are well supported when you are not there. So it's not about you wishing yourself, dead, but it is just about you saying, you know what? We can't control things. We don't own this world. We own nothing. But at least for the people that I love and I'm currently taking care of and protecting, that are in my care, I should also lay down select instructions that would ensure that they are well, taken care of. That's great. That's fantastic. And to my last, before I go to that, Grace, I want you to say something about this. I am married. I don't need a will, because I know in a way it also applies to life insurance. Like, why do I, bother when it comes to this? Because I have my wife. She's going to take everything anyway. She knows my ATM pin. We have accounts together and all of that. So everything will still go to her. At the end of the day. What do you say to that, Grace?
Okay, like I said earlier, you don't necessarily have to be married before you can get some life assurance, because life insurance covers family and dependents. So if you're married, yes, it's okay for you to get it. And at the beginning of a startup, once you're starting the life insurance, there's this Insurance Information Institute that says that every startup plan or life insurance, every person starting up must indicate who the beneficiaries are. So your beneficiaries don't necessarily have to be your children, but in case you're married and then you have children and you want to pass on to your children, of course, as you're starting the term assurance or life insurance, whichever one you're taking, the whole life or the term assurance, as you're starting life insurance, you indicate your insurer would notify you on the form, give you a column for you to pick up your beneficiaries. And then if you pick up your children and you assign the percentage, that way the scenario that Bola have painted will not apply. So if the man had gotten a term or life assurance before dying, before passing away, By the time the wife returns, it's just to visit the insurance company, or if it's leadway, in the case of leadway, it's just to visit us and notify us of the death. And before now, he would have had a planned out way of how to set out his benefit to the beneficiaries. So they will have something to fall back on to cushion the loss financially. Yes, you can't bring back oneself, but at least you can make an impact even in death.
Wow. That's key. You can't bring back the life lost, but you can actually make an impact when you are not there. Key, key people, key, very key, very important. Another takeaway from here. That's great. Bolao, back to you, Bolao. The last one. If I have a valid will, like something valid, I don't need probate. I know this is technical, but a lot of us are, well lettered. We're exposed to some of these things. So for people who already know about will and probate, I want us to just touch on this, briefly. That if I have will, do I need probate?
Thank you very much. I'm sure we've all heard about the document called Letters of Administration. It's a document obtained from the probate registry. And this is a document that the loved ones of people who move on without a will are subjected to getting. And that's people who died intestate. And then I'm sure you've all heard about the stories that have been trending about the difficulties in getting this document, the time frame it takes to get this document, and the challenges associated with this document. So the best bet for you to avoid the trauma associated with letters of administration is to take out a will. Like I used to tell people, it's enough trauma to lose the one you love. Why add the trauma of letters of administration to that trauma? So that's it.
Wow, that's good. That's great. And this takes us to the next question. Grace, are you there?
Yes, I am, Aisha.
Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
For life insurance, Grace,
Okay.
what options do we have as individual? Because I understand that there are some products that we have that you don't have to say, oh, until when I'm no more, my beneficiaries should be paid or taken care of. There are some that we can just also uptake for a purpose. So I want you to talk about that. What options do we have when it comes to life insurance?
Right. Okay, thank you, Aisha. Life insurance, we have two types of life insurance. We have the whole life insurance, and then we have the term life insurance. And then for the whole life insurance, it's more of it's a permanent thing. The insured, that is the person that takes up the insurance, is covered for the duration of life as long as he pays his premium as at when. So his entire life is insured. And when he's no more, there's a benefit that goes to his beneficiaries, and also there's cash value. So the cash value can either be taken on as a loan, yes, from time to time. If you want, you can take cash value out of the whole life insurance and then still have your death benefits there for you. However, the term life insurance is the one that you take up for a duration, say between 5 to 30 years. It depends on how old you are at the time you take up the insurance. So when you take up the term life insurance, it lasts for that period of time. If anything happens to you, if you pass on within that duration, then your beneficiary gets the benefit. However, if nothing happens at the long run, if you take it up for 20 years and then you don't pass on, then that's the risk part. Then you lose everything. Well, you would call that a loss, a waste of investment. But come to think of it, if you're no more, you actually have to pay something to the beneficiaries. So that's for term life insurance. Both are a good package. So usually we advise that you speak to your insurer. Like here in Leadway, what we do when we come in and you want to take up life insurance, we speak to you to understand the family setting and your background. And after lots of discussion and conversation with you, we can advise you on which of the life insurances to pick up that would actually be very comfortable and very okay for you and your family, that would cater for your family very well. So that's for life insurance, just the two of them, whole life and term life.
Whole life and term life. All right, people. So you can actually take up a policy for term life for a certain purpose, and also take up the whole life for the duration of your existence and when you are no more, and how your people, your siblings, your wife, your dependents, generally your dependents will be taken care of. So yeah, a lot, and loads of information in there for us to, glean for our use. Oh, so that takes us to uh how do we create will? Bolaon, are you there? How do we create a will? How do we create a will? It is very important for us to know how the step by step of creating a will. Bolaon, what do you say to that?
All right, thank you very much for that question. It starts with us making up our mind to write our will, and after which you give out your instructions on how on your assets, how you want these assets to be distributed between your loved ones. And then at Libre Capital and
Okay.
Trust, we offer top-notch will writing services. We help people to plan their future. We help people to rewrite stories. There's been a lot of negative stories surrounding succession in Nigeria, and so we tend to rewrite these stories. So you give us your instructions. We put your instructions into a draft, and then we send you this draft, which you would confirm. And then upon your confirmation, we take it to the execution because there are procedures under the wills law as to how these wills will be executed. And then after execution of this will, we take the responsibility of sealing and lodging these wills at the probate registry. And so that ends the process.
Hmm. So you can see, guys, creating a will is simple. It's not complicated at all. It's not complicated in any way. And I think we should all, start one today. It is not complicated. It's simple. And again, one beautiful thing about this whole thing is it helps you keep track of what you own. For those who own different assets, it is not just about you leaving things behind. It is also about you keeping track of what you currently own. Because, there are stories everywhere. A lot of people will die, and you hear, oh, I see this man around this estate. I think there's a property here for the man. And the family, they are in Ogun or your Abuja, and they don't even know that exists. So it is a way for you to keep, and for those who acquire on here, who have so much, the investors of our time, you invest in different things, you buy different things, you own different things, and at a point, you just you lose track of everything, and you're just saying, I think I have, I think there is. No, with your will, there's nothing like that. You keep track 100%. So now, Bolao, your last words to our people, your last words.
All right. Thank you very much. My last words will be that everyone should do the responsible thing. It's for us to do the responsible thing. The decision to do the right thing starts with us. I want us all to sit down at our quiet moment and think what will happen to those that I love in the event the unexpected happen. My children, how will they remain in school? How will my assets be distributed? How will the funds in my retirement savings account be assessed? These are questions that we should ask ourselves. And the right thing for us to do is to take out a will that addresses, identify our assets, and give directives as to how these assets will be distributed. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Bolao. Grace, last words. They want to leave with something. Say something to us to take away from this. Grace, are you there?
Aisha, can you
Grace,
hear me?
hello?
Hello, I can hear you clearly. Confirm if you can hear me.
Yeah, Grace is back. Your last
Okay.
words to us, your last words.
All right. So my last words would be that life insurance is pretty affordable. Yes, it's a scary part to think of. Most times, people will don't want to think of when they would die, but it's death is inevitable. Here in Leadway, we have pre-priced and affordable life plans. For term life, we have as minimum as 7.5, and for benefit of 500, 7.5 per annum. That's yearly, and then we have 10,000 yearly as well to get you 1 million as benefit. So it goes on like that. It's affordable for everyone. It's affordable. So contact your insurer or contact Leadway. We're available. We can help you better understand and then determine what kind of policy that suits you and your family's needs. Do it now, not tomorrow.
Wow. So now I will take some questions. You know, I have one. So, Oluwayomi Fanika, thank you so much for dropping this here. Please, can you explain from the basic of life insurance? I think this is Oluyemi wanting to listen from the layman's point of view. What do you say, Grace? How well can you simplify this for Oluwayomi? Oluwayomi, thank you for your comment.
Sorry, Aisha, please can you take the question again? I could barely hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Oluwayomi
I can.
requested that
Okay.
you should explain from the basic of life insurance.
Okay.
Basic,
All
like
right.
from
Okay. So,
layman's point of view.
okay, I would explain it. Okay. So,
Oh
basic of
yes,
life.
sorry, Olubukola, you can get it for 10K. So please continue, Grace.
Okay. The basics of life insurance is okay. You come into Leadway. I'm using Leadway because we're here. Okay. So I will come into Leadway and I want to take a life cover, a life insurance cover. And then the next thing is I ask you for your details, your information, your name and beneficiary. I give you a proposal form, you complete it. And then at the point of completion, there's an indication for beneficiaries. So at that point, you're going to list out those that you want us to pass on your benefits to when you pass on or pass away, rather. Okay, so once you complete that, we take back the form, we get it into the database, and then we roll out your policy number and you make payment. It's as simple as that. So all you need to do is give us your details. We advise on the ideal one for you, and whether be it term life or wholesome or whole life insurance. So whichever one that suits you better, you will be advised, and it's as simple as that. That's the basics. And then term assurance is term life is actually less expensive than the whole life. It has a lot of benefits. There's a term life that I mentioned that has 10,000 and has 7.5 per annum that you can take up. At 7.5, you get
Wow, great one.
benefit of 500,000, and then at 10,000 per annum, which is a year, you get a benefit of 1 million in the case of once you pass on. However, if you don't, the next year is renewable. Then you can go on and on like that. Then for the whole life, you can actually insure your entire life. This all depends on what kind of lifestyle you live and what exactly you want. There are people that are way exposed to risk, and of course, whole life will pay better because it ensures that their families get secured in case they pass on. So that's
Wow.
basically what life insurance is from scratch to finish.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Grace. Now I know with my 10K, my 7.5, I can actually, uptake a policy. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Michael, thank you. Olamide, Bello, thank you so much for joining. Adeniran for Lauren Shaw, yes, it is indeed great to be here. Opayemi, hello, good afternoon. How are you today? Kabiru, Momo, hello. How are you today? Welcome to our channel. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your time. Uh, Jither, I guess I pronounced it well. Kakai. It doesn't. I don't get that. If you have questions, please ask. Let us explain. Let us clarify. Thank you so much for joining us, for creating time for us. Thank you. Olubukola, I cite you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Um, Tajuddin Abubakar, thank you for your question. Uh, Okay, can you please outline on the chart the various products offering under the will and life insurance? Yes, we will do that right away. We will do that right away. We'll do that right away. We will post. Go can I do wheels? Can I do a wheels video? I've always fancied doing video my kids can watch when I'm gone. Is that allowed? This is coming from Olubukola. Is it possible? Bola.
All right, thank you very much for that question. Currently, at the moment, the way the legal framework is structured is such that your will has to be in writing when it is going to. It of course it has to be in writing and it has to be signed in the presence of two witnesses. However, for individuals who would like to or would rather love to have an audiovisual will, it is workable. We can have a scenario whereby we would have your verbatim written will signed in the presence of two witnesses as required by law. I would also have the same for written will read out by yourself in an audiovisual material. So it is workable. That's why we have the facilities and the experience to do this for you at Libre Capital and Trust. All you need to do is to make up your mind, tell us your objective, and we'll walk you towards achieving it.
All right, that's great. So, Bukola, you can do a Wheels video. You can have it in audio visual format. So, thank you so much for your question. That is quite, insightful. It's insightful. Tajuddin, we're still working on that. We will post. We'll share with you the outline, the offerings available, the cost as well. We will share. Yes, Anthony, 7,500 yearly. Super amazing, right? Yeah. And writing the will is also simple. It is also simple. The step by step, the everything. It's not complicated at all. And now we know. And so it is time for us to do what? To write one. And for you to learn more about our life insurance or wills products, please visit www.leadway.com or call me to request for a call back. Oh, let me take that again. Sorry, apologies. It's www.leadway.com/call me. That's the call me. You have hyphen in between to request for a call back. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And again, we have one critical question that we have on here that I think is also important for us to touch on. And this goes to Gbolahan. As a young person, what can be put in a will? Michael just asked this question. What exactly it is, or what are those things that you think is important for us to put in a will?
All right, thank you very much for that question. First and foremost, as a young individual, we need to bring in our retirement savings account. I'm sure we're all aware that the law that regulates pension funds in Nigeria is the Pension Reforms Act, and this act provides that there are two instances when the funds in the pension accounts can be accessed upon the demise of the contributor, and this is either upon the provision of a will admitted to probate or the document known as letters of administration. So it is very important for us as individuals, as corporate employees, as investors, and what have you, to bring in our retirement savings account into our will. Of course, we can also bring in the funds in our bank account. We can bring in our shares in companies. We can bring in our investment, all kinds of investment, whether they are recognized by law. We can appoint guardians for underage children, and we can do quite a lot of things in our will. We can also, by virtue of the National Health Act, we can also bequeath our body parts. We can bequeath them for being used for transplants or for academic research. So anything that's validly yours, anything that's legally yours, you can bequeath it via your will. But very importantly, as young people, the retirement savings account, the bank account, the investment that we have, or have actually subscribed to, those are very important assets that we should bring into our will. And very important for those who have children who are below the age of 18, the will is an opportunity for you to appoint guardians and substitute guardians for these children for the protection of their future. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Golan. Thank you for that. Ebiade, I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for your contribution and the question. Thank you. Oh, yes. Yes, Talker, it's great. It's fantastic. Phillips, exactly. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your contribution so far. Uh, thank you. A lot of people also say, Michael, this goes to you. I know we've spoken about this, and another question that I need us to talk about is this equals my death. It's a very strong, input. What do you say? Can you hear me, Bola? That wills equals my death.
Oh, okay.
That you
Sorry.
want me to do this, but I think it equals my death.
Well, the fact that an individual is writing his or her will doesn't mean that he or she is going to die anytime soon. Of course, death has no
Exactly.
relationship or correlation with will writing. So, from I can tell you from life experience that I know people who have written their wills about 40 to 30 something years ago, and they are still alive till date. And I can tell you that people who have not even written their wills have died. So, of course, there's no correlation between will writing and death. They are two different things entirely. I'm sure we're all familiar with the saying that says that he who fails to plan definitely plans to fail. So a will is our best bet, our best opportunity to plan for the future. So there's a need for us to desist from procrastination and embrace the best option that's available for us in the future.
Wow, that is good. And so for more content on Wheels, my people, for more content on Wheels and Trust, let me drop this here right now. Please follow Leadway Capital and Trust on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our handle name is at Leadway underscore capital. At Leadway underscore capital. Please follow us to have, to get more information, tips on this, and how you can get started. Follow us today. Now, right now, do that following right now so you don't miss out because we have a lot of information on there. So do that right now. Do that right now. There are life stories, there are life series. We've seen a lot. We've seen people, struggling to survive after the breadwinner is gone and all of that. We have a lot of stories, and as a as someone who do this on a very good day, who do this all the time, I know Bala will have a lot of stories to tell, a lot of experience to share. Could you please
Yeah.
share one as we're planning to round up?
Yeah, I'm sure we're all aware that in our society today, there's a lot of things going on. You can barely trust the man standing next to you. And so this makes it more challenging for us as adults, for us as individuals, for us as parents to do the needful to plan the future. Aside the need to plan the future, it will also helps to capture an inventory of what you own. There are a lot of people who have assets that their loved ones do not even know that they have those assets. And then I can tell you a peculiar story of an old client who acquired a property somewhere in Lekki. And this particular client had always told his wife that, oh, I bought a land somewhere in Lekki. And when the right time comes, I'm going to take you to Lekki to see this property. And then, unfortunately for the gentleman, the right time never came, and he eventually died before the right
Wow.
time came. And then, after mourning
Wow.
for a couple of weeks, his spouse decided to keep life going, and they needed to liquidate some of his assets so that the children can go back to school and life can return back to normal. And then, of course, the most significant asset would have been the land in Lekki, and there was a need for them to identify these assets and probably liquidate it so that they can apply it towards the welfare of the children that they left behind. However, unfortunately, everybody kept asking everybody, where is the land? Where is the title document? Nobody knows. The spouse does not know. Nobody knows where this property is. And then after about 3 4 months of search, she eventually stumbled on a survey plan somewhere beneath the wardrobe, and she assumed that this would probably be the property that her late husband left behind. And then it took them a lot of very stressful exercise, having to chart out that property. And then lo and
Hmm.
behold, by the time they found that property, it was a fully developed property. And it was a question and answer session as to, is this the property your husband left behind? So these are the kind of things that you can avoid by writing a will, because the will contain an inventory of all what you own. It will give specific details and give directives as to how these assets will be distributed when you are not there. So this is why I encourage people that it's something that we should do. It's tied to responsibility for us to all take out
Hmm.
a will document. Once you are an adult, once you have a retirement savings account, once you have beneficiaries, you have your spouse, you have children, it behoves on you as adults to be responsible to do the needful. And for couples, for couples, it's not just enough for you as the husband to take out a will. It's a joint responsibility. It's something that the husband has to take out a will. Equally, the wife too has to take out a will. Because I've seen instances where the husband took out a will, and then the husband and the wife left at the same time, and he probably left everything he owned to his wife in his will. So there's a need for us to have synergy in terms of making this plan for the future. Just as your husband is taking out his will, the wife should equally also take out her own will too, so that there can be synergy in planning for the future. There can be synergy in terms of welfare of the kids. So this is why I encourage everyone to embrace will writing. We've long lived in this myth for a very long time that, oh, I'm not ready to die. Oh, I'm not the Otedolas and the Dangotes of this world. We cannot continue to live in that untrue circumstances. The truth is that there's a need for every adult to plan the future. There's a need for every adult to be responsible. There's a need for every adult to protect those that we claim that we love. It is important. It is tied to responsibility. So there's a need for us to embrace what is expected of us. So that's why every individual, irrespective of your circumstances, whether you're self-employed, you're in paid employment, whether you're retired, whether you're married, whether you're sick, the moment you start having those indicators, the RSA account, the bank account, you start having a spouse, you have children, those are indicators that you should take out a will.
All right. Thank you, Bolaon. Thank you so much. Grace, I've heard so much about what term life can do, like education, planning for things that you want to do, giving it time and saying, oh, this XYZ number of years, I want this, I want that. And I know you've seen a lot of this because you're passionate about predicting happiness for clients. So I know you've heard so much, you've seen so much when it comes to, life insurance. Please share one or two stories to ginger us, to make us go ahead and, uh,
Okay.
to make us go ahead and
Okay.
take our own policy.
Okay. Yes, I have a story. In fact, it just happened this morning. Okay, so on my way to work, I got a call, and I took the call. I didn't know who he was. The person introduced himself that he was Wenger, son to one Mrs. and Anifowoshi or something, and I couldn't place it. He said the mother left my details as account officer somehow, so he stumbled into it, and then the mother died last year, sometime last year. So she had a life assurance with Leadway. So he couldn't place any documents from Leadway, no contact, nothing aside from my phone number. Okay, so I asked for the name in full of the mother. By the time I got to the office, I checked our database. I was able to find out what exactly she had with us. And then she listed her beneficiaries, like practically all of her, if I'm not mistaken, about 7 children. She listed and apportioned percentages to what she had. So the benefits was going to be shared for her children. And you see how fantastic this is. They weren't expecting this money, and the woman made plans even before she died. So at this point, if there are still minors among them that actually can't afford to finish their education, or thought they couldn't afford to finish their education, by the time this money is disbursed to them, they will be able to tidy that up. So term assurance, life assurance, it's as important as the will. And from my basic understanding of law, I actually am a law graduate, and I know that you can also add your term assurance and other insurance policies into your will. So it's a mini will we create when it comes to life insurance, because you're going to state your beneficiaries and how much you want us to pay to them. But at the same time, it's also part of your assets. So you cannot actually add it to your will in order to keep everything tidy and neat. So, and also notify your spouses, and it could also be can also notify your children when you don't have your spouse alive. So at
Hello,
this
Grace. We
point,
can barely hear
a
you,
son.
Grace.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'll speak up a little more. At this point, she didn't notify her children, but somehow they stumbled into what's my contact, and they reached out to me. So it's life insurance. It's not fear. It's actually love. So she has
Wow, your
also
network
left.
is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you still hear me? Hello, Aisha. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Bola. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Hello.
can hear you.
All
I
right,
can
I
hear you.
can hear you now. I'm back. I'm back. Back.
Okay. Okay.
Network.
All right. I
Yes.
understand.
All right. I
So
have a
is
question
anybody
for
able to
Bola.
leave? Okay.
Yeah, Grace, are you done?
Oh yeah.
Apologies.
Oh no, no, it's
Can
fine.
you hear
It's fine.
me?
So if we what I can hear
Okay.
you. So what we do for life insurance is just for us to live love when you pass on. So not to live fear. So you can pick up your term life, you can pick up your whole life, and then you're leaving love behind for your loved ones. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Grace. Lots of information, loads of it in there. We have a question from Toka. This goes to Bola. What are the various types of wills? What are the various types of wills that
All
exist
right.
today?
All right. Thank you very much. At Leadway Capital and Trust, we have various kinds of wheel products. We have Islamic wheels, we have the conventional wheels, we have mirror wheels, we have simple wheels, we have comprehensive wheels, we have RSA wheels. Like I said, all you need to do is tell us your objective, tell us what you want to achieve. We would work towards helping you to achieve this great objective. So we have wheels that covers every particular interest in society. So I think I'll be able to answer your question.
All right. Thank you so much, Bola. And I have another question for you. Uh, what are the implications of medical conditions on life insurance policies? This is for Grace. Grace, this is for
Okay, the
you. What are the
implication of
implications of medical
yes.
conditions from Otiwo or Heredia? Thank you for your
Okay,
contribution,
so
Otiwo.
medical condition comes in place, especially for term life. When you,
Okay.
as much as term life is actually more, is cheaper to take up than the whole life, but at the same time, it has its drawbacks. Okay, and so one of them is that for anyone that takes up any period that takes up term life insurance, you're expected to undergo medical test. So in the case that you undergo this test and then the result comes out that you have some medical conditions, it's expected that your premium would, of course, it will go a little higher. So it depends on the level or the stage of the condition. Your premium would always will be higher than usual. So, but where your medical condition is a clean slate, then be rest assured that you'll have a very cheap premium to pay and run through it like that.
Okay, another question from Talker, and I think this goes to Bolan. Bolan, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you.
Under the Igbo customary law of inheritance and succession, a childless widow, or no, I want to take this as a widow, a childless widow doesn't have access to the late husband's properties. How can Leadway will help to eradicate this outdated policy? And in addition to that, Tucker also mentioned that another widow without a male child, like a widow without a male child, won't have access to her husband's inheritance or to an inheritance or properties of her husband. Gola, what do you say to that? How can our will plan help to eradicate this outdated policy and customary law?
All right. Thank you very much for that question. A couple of years ago, our Supreme Court actually gave out a decision that declared as unconstitutional the practice of disinheriting a particular section of the society, that's people of the female gender, from inheriting under the Igbo customary practice. So this has laid to rest the issue as to whether females are legally entitled to inherit or not. However, I must be factual with you, in our societies, these trends still occur. I've had experiences of people of the female gender, widows being disinherited simply because they are of the female gender. And this is why we encourage people to take out a will, because a will helps you to spell out how you want these assets to be distributed. And it gives people, irrespective of their gender, your loved ones, it gives them the legal power to actually take possession and access these assets that you have left behind, irrespective of whatever customary practice that operates where that individual is from. So our will product are structured in a way that it helps to avoid this barbaric customary practice and helps to ensure that the interests of our loved ones are protected. Thank you. I
Thank
shall.
you, Bola. My network. Apologies. You know what technology can do to you when you are in the
Yeah.
middle of something very strong. Yeah, Bola, thank you. So
Yeah.
right now we've touched on so much. And this is quite insightful, I must say. Loads of key information shared. Uh, Big thanks to our speakers, Bolan, Grace. We say thank you for your time, for the tips, for the advice, for, shedding light on things that we think is difficult for us to achieve. You guys kind of make everything, easy peasy, as as our people would say. Thank you so much. And a big thanks to everyone for joining us today. We appreciate your time, your contributions. We do appreciate. And like I said earlier, we have a bouquet of life insurance products and wills plans that you can easily obtain and live happy, assured, and fulfilled. Uh, Please don't hesitate to visit our website, send DM to us to understand more about insurance and better, and learn more about our products and services and how we can help you build wealth. We are not protecting, we are building wealth, and we are helping you with how you will transfer easily without hassle. And that is why we're here for you. That is why we're your partners. So you can also send us a DM through at Leadway Assurance on Facebook and Instagram, as well as at Leadway Insure on Twitter to know more about insurance and other products that applies. And for Capital and Trust as well, like I mentioned, please visit Leadway Capital and Trust on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Leadway underscore capital. Please note, at Leadway underscore capital. Follow us right now. Right now. Don't sleep on it. is important, because things are happening on there. A lot of information, a lot of things that will change your life, and would keep you rest assured that things are easy, things will move forward, things would eventually happen when you are not there anymore. So thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good and wonderful evening. I enjoyed
Thank you very
myself, and I know you do enjoy yourself too. Bola or Grace, what you say?
Thank you, Aisha. We did. I enjoyed
much.
myself. In fact, Bola, I'm coming to you. I think I need to review my
All
to
right,
redo
Wow,
thank
my
had
will.
you.
Yes.
had
Thank you,
free.
Grace. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Bola can't wait. Love you all. Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
rest of the afternoon. Bye. Bye bye.